And we now get you breaking details of how Donald Trump is leaving for Alaska for truce talks with Vladimir Putin. That is all set to happen. In fact, US President Donald Trump, who will be meeting his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin, a meeting that is very keenly being watched on what happens as part of it. Now, the two are scheduled to meet on Friday in Alaska. It is a high-stakes and high-risk summit that could prove decisive for the future of Ukraine and the entire globe that is watching this meeting very, very carefully. Those are the pictures on your screens as US President Donald Trump has set off for Alaska for truce talks with Vladimir Putin. The summit that is set to take place at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson in Anchorage, Alaska's largest military installation and a Cold War base for surveillance of the Soviet Union. Vladimir Putin will also step onto Western soil for the first time since he had ordered the invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Thousands of people who have lost their lives as part of this war that has been ongoing for more than 2 years. Russia has not relented. Rather, they've made rapid gains. Now, we're also learning that several activities that are underway in the city that is bracing for the two leaders as part of this big meet. And it is to an extent where flight restrictions to hotels all have been booked out, all set to welcome Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin in that high-stakes meet that is set to take place. Anchorage playing host to Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. In fact, Trump, who is expected to land at 10 a.m. local time, and Putin, who will land about 50 minutes later than Donald Trump. Let me cut across to India Today Global Editor Pranay Upadhyay with further details as Donald Trump is all set to leave and everyone watching what will turn out in this meeting very, very closely.
Definitely, Suesha. This is a high-stake meeting, as rightly put by Donald Trump himself. He said that the high stakes are there as far as this meeting is concerned. And after a decade, Russian President Vladimir Putin will be on US soil, and he would be meeting a US president after 4 years, and this is after 6 years. He would be meeting President Donald Trump again. So definitely this is going to be a very high-stake meeting. But what will be the outcome of this meeting? There are a lot of things on agenda, and if you see the composition of team accompanying both the principals, if you could see that the Trade Secretary is there, the Finance Secretary, U.S. Treasury Secretary is there. On the other side, the Russian Finance Minister is also accompanying Russian President Vladimir Putin. Sergei Lavrov, who's the Foreign Minister of Russia, is already there in Anchorage, in Alaska. So definitely on foreign policy side, on the trade and commerce side, on the economic cooperation, so length and breadth of the relationship will be discussed on this big meeting. Besides the agenda of Ukraine war and the possible ceasefire solution. So this talk or this high-stake meeting will not be limited only to the Russia-Ukraine conflict, but both the leaders are likely to discuss the other issues as well, including the Arctic Council composition, along with that the Arctic energy and mineral resource usage and other aspects of it. And also Russia and Ukraine, Russia and US have the treaty, which is called the START treaty, regarding the nuclear weapon, and it's keeping the nuclear weapon stockpile in check. So that treaty is also due to expire in February 2026, and ahead of that, both the leaders are likely to discuss that. The statement given by Russian President Vladimir Putin clearly indicates that he is willing to discuss all the issues with his US counterpart Donald Trump, and he has expressed hope that there could be a positive solution, there could be a positive outcome of it. However, President Donald Trump has said that there are only 25% chances that there could be a big breakthrough. But we know that as far as the Russia-Ukraine conflict is concerned, this meeting is going to give us the direction that how this can be reached to a solution, what could be that solution. But before sealing any formula or any ceasefire agreement, the trilateral meeting is required, which President Donald Trump also indicated that after meeting President Vladimir Putin, he would be calling up President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine, and thereafter he'll try and make both the leaders sit together and have a solution.
Rani, continue talking to us because this is a high-stakes meeting, and Trump, in his poll promise before he came to power, had said that the moment I come to power, I will solve this issue within 24 hours. He had also boasted of his equation with Vladimir Putin. Things didn't turn out that way, but can it turn around in this meeting is what everyone is waiting to watch. We also heard from Sergei Lavrov, who said that we have nothing to be nervous because we are very clear about our position. What is going to be the strategy of the United States, and who all are accompanying Donald Trump for this meeting?
Who all are accompanying President Donald Trump. So Secretary Scott Bessent, who's the Secretary of Treasury, he's accompanying Howard Lutnick, who's the Commerce Secretary of United States. Besides that, Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, he is also accompanying, and also CIA Director John Ratcliffe, he's also accompanying President Donald Trump to Anchorage for this high-stake meeting. Besides that, the Russian President is being accompanied by his Defense Minister, his Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, you mentioned, is already there in Anchorage. Besides that, his special advisor Kirill Dmitriev is also accompanying President Vladimir Putin. And if you see, besides these, besides these statements, there has been a lot of back-channel talks between both the sides, Russians and the US side. And on 6th of August, when special envoy of US President Donald Trump, Steve Witkoff, when he visited Moscow, he had a personal audience, he has a personal meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin, and thereafter there was a confirmation by Kremlin that soon there is going to be a meeting with US President Donald Trump, and which later on confirmed by the US side as well, and that's why within 7 days this thing was worked out. But before that, there were a lot of things went in for the preparation of these things. US President, you rightly pointed it out, that it was his poll promise. He said those things that I can end this war with just a phone call to Vladimir Putin and to Vladimir Zelensky. This war would not have started if he would have been the President of the United States in White House, but it happened. And even yesterday, he expressed the hope, he expressed his willingness to engage with the Russian side, but he also warned the Russian side that if the talks fail, then there would be serious consequences for Russia, because we know that on the Hill, on the Capitol Hill, the Sanctioning Russia Act is, which is a bipartisan act, which is there for the consideration, which allows 500% tariffs on Russia, and also the secondary tariffs on countries, those who would do business with Russia. So definitely, it has, we as Indian, India also have interest in this summit, because we are facing
Right.
this additional 25% tax tariff just because we are buying Russian oil.